This is the Wheat King Tabata workout. It's a fantastic postural workout. It's going to help stretch some tight muscles, firm up your strength, firm up your posture, and it can be done just about anywhere because it's primarily a bodyweight workout, but you can add weights as a further progression to make it more challenging. It's a Tabata workout, so as a Tabata workout, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, alternating for 4 minutes per exercise. You go through the exercise one at a time. Let's start it off with the side-to-side squats. So for the side-to-side squats, you're going to have your palms pressed together like this. You're going to take a step to the left and then do a squat. Step back up to the middle, step to the right, squat. Left, squat, right, squat. That's the exercise right there. Now, as a progression, you can take something like this. This is a closed loop mini band, and then you can place it around your ankles, and what it'll do is it's going to add elastic resistance to work your hip stabilizers, your abductor muscles, to a greater extent. Another progression you can do is to take a dumbbell and you can just hold it like this in a goblet position in front of your chest, and you can do the exercise like so. So that's a couple different progressions that you can mix in to make the exercise even more challenging if need be. Now, the next exercise is the hip stretch lunges. For this one, you want to stand next to something you can hold on to for balance initially. I'm going to use this wall here. Now, you're going to have one leg all the way back, one leg forward. You keep the back leg straight, okay? And then what you do here is you lunge down, return back up. Lunge down, return back up. Now, because this back leg is straight, you're going to feel a stretch in the front of the hip. And if you don't, either lengthen your stride or lean back more with your upper body. This is going to loosen up the hip flexors, loosen up a little bit of the quads, and it's going to help to firm up and tone and condition the hips and thighs and strengthen the lunge pattern. As a progression, you could do this just holding your palms in front like this, pressing them together, which helps to activate the core, and you do it without holding on to anything. And then as a further progression, you can do this holding the weight vertically in front of the chest in the goblet position, just like this, cupping the top end plate like it's the upper basin of a goblet or a chalice. And you can do this variation of the exercise to make it even more challenging. Holding the weight up like that is going to really increase the core demands on the movement. So you're going to notice that it's going to make you a little bit more breathless. Now the next exercise is the spine lock sumo hip hinges. For this one here, you have your feet really wide apart like this. You have one hand on the front of the abs, one hand on the low back, just like that. And that is to make sure that you monitor the curvature in the spine. You want to make sure there's no movement in your low back. So you're monitoring it with your hands. Then what you're going to do here is you're going to push your hips back and fold forward until you're about somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of the way to horizontal. Then you extend upright. So it's a hip hinge motion, but you're feeling the low back just to make sure that you're not going down to the point where you start rounding the lower back. Okay? Now, further progressions of that one would be that once you've got the form nailed down and you know that you're able to keep your low back in position, you can do this exercise with your fingers in your ear holes and your elbows pushed back, and that's going to increase the tension on the lever arms, so that's going to make it more intense, plus you're posturally activating more muscles. You can go with your arms in a Y, that makes it even more difficult. And then as a final progression, you can hold a weight in front of your chest any way you like. I like to go with the bow tie position for this, but you can hold a weight in front of your chest and you can do it like this. So those are some different progressions on the spine lock sumo hip hinge. The main thing there, it's a great exercise. You're going to feel it stretching and strengthening the hamstrings, the low back, the glutes. It's going to help optimize your hinge pattern. But the main thing there is not to round the low back, because when you start to do that, you run into an area where you have greater risk of irritating the low back. Okay? Now the next exercise is freestanding double heel raises. For this one here, you have your feet together side by side, palms are pressed together, you lift all the way up and down with your heels. So it's just a calf raise like that, okay? And this is done freestanding. I'm just going to give you a different view. Now as a progression, you do a little pump at the top. So once you get all the way up, you lower down just an inch or so, then back up all the way. So it'll look like this. Pump. Pump. So I'm giving it a little bit of an extra contraction at the top, like a little bit of a quarter stutter rep there. So that would be a progression. And then a further progression is you could just hold a weight. Typically, you just hold it down, straight down in front of your hips, gripping the underside of the top end plate like this. And then you could just do the heel raises that way. And you just keep going heavier and heavier if you need to until you really feel this is a challenging movement. Doing that exercise freestanding is really beneficial for your stabilizers. Your foot and ankle stabilizers are helping to keep you upright and balanced in addition to doing that movement of elevating the heels. So they've got a couple different demands there. So it's great for overall fitness. Now, the next exercise is the W squeeze knee push-ups. The main thing here is you're going to be doing a traditional push-up from your knees. So you're going to be laying face up. You're going to go all the way up, then all the way down. Then from the bottom, you're going to release your hands from the floor and you're going to move them into a W posture like this, squeezing your shoulder blades down and together. So I'm squeezing them in this direction here, together and then down towards my back pockets. Okay? And then you go into a push-up, W squeeze. Push-up, W squeeze. So I'll demonstrate here for you what that'll look like. You're going to begin face down on your hands and knees. Your knees are going to be bent so that your lower legs point up and your ankles are crossed. Hands are down by your shoulders. Your elbows are down and out at a 45-degree angle. You press all the way up. You go all the way down, W squeeze. All the way up, all the way down, W squeeze. Just like that, okay? Just to give you a different view. W squeeze. So you're really activating those postural muscles in the upper back, particularly the lower trapezius and also a bit of the rhomboids. Now a progression is to do that from your feet. So you go all the way down, W squeeze, all the way up, W squeeze, all the way up. So unlike a traditional push-up, which just works the front of the body, this is balancing out the tension and it's hitting the back of the body as well, your upper back, which can help straighten up poor upper body posture or forward slumped posture. Now the next exercise we're going to be going on to is the side plank reach unders. Now for this one, you maybe want to grab a small weight for the progression. I'm going to use a 5-pound weight on the progression, and I'll explain how we're going to go through that. Now for this exercise, you're going to, and I'll just move up a little bit here so you can see me. You're going to be on your side like this, with this elbow stacked directly beneath this shoulder. Okay? Knees are in line with your spine, and your lower legs are bent back at a right angle, 90-degree angle, so they point behind you. All right? So from the side, you can see that's what I'm doing there. I have them pointing behind. Now you